Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Alain Nochimowski. I'm the VP of Business Development at Viaccess-Orca. Viaccess-Orca has been 20 years in the business of, we're in the technology business. We're enabling the delivery of TV and video to the multi-screen. And what I'm going to talk to you with you today is about second screen, and more specifically about a product we've launched recently that's called Deep. As you can notice from the accent, I'm a Frenchman. So as any Frenchman, I'm going to start with the theory, and then we'll delve deeper into the practical lessons we've learned. That's the way I'm built. Sorry. Does anybody know here what a zettabyte is? So it's not an animal? No?
It's a lot of data.
Okay. I thought that some people would have thought that you can eat a zettabyte because it's lunchtime, but no, you're right. It's a storage. It's a measure of storage. So a zettabyte is 1,000 billion gigabytes. And for the topic that is of interest today, we can say that's the measure of the problem facing the second screen industry. Why? This is typically, as a viewer, what you're faced with. Okay, you are traditionally subscribed to a pay TV operator, VOD operator, when you have plenty of choice, about 100,000 hours of movie that you can watch on demand. Over a year, through your TV channels, you have about 1 million hours of TV shows. 52 million, because you have a PC, of course, you have 52 million of hours of YouTube content uploaded every year. And this is where the zettabyte comes in, because when you're discussing second screen, you need to discuss ancillary content. All the second screen is about providing the right ancillary content to the relevant TV context. So you're faced with zettabytes of information, tweets, posts, news, gossips, etc., which accompany, which enrich the second screen experience, the TV experience. So as a user, you're faced with overabundance of choice. Okay, but I guess there are some content service provider in the room. And for you, the problem is manifold. First, there's the problem of discovery. How can you surface the right content? How can you make sure that the relevant ancillary content is provided to the relevant TV context? First problem. Second problem is UI. How can you navigate this abundance of content? Okay? If you look at your tablets, tens of apps that you basically download, not one single unifying navigation principle. Every UI, every app is different, and not necessarily adapted to a tactile tablet format. Okay, most of the apps are patterned after text scrolling, and you have like dozens of apps, each I would say yearning for discoverability. So the UI is still a problem. Third problem, of course, is cost. The business model, the economics of second screen are still relatively complex here. But what is sure is that when you have so many hours of content for which to animate second screen experience, you cannot do that through traditional editorial methods or tools. Okay, it doesn't scale. Okay, so this is the problem that basically we try to address with one of our latest product, which I will very briefly describe. The product is called Deep. Deep stands for Data Enrichment and Engagement Platform. It is a magazine, a digital magazine, that is basically powered from it's a cloud service, skinnable magazine. Deep tries to address the various problems I just mentioned in two dimensions. The first dimension is a dimension of content discovery mode. Okay, so you're used to search and discover and recommendation. I would say search would be more the lean forward kind of discovery. Recommendation, the lean backward. Now we believe that there is a third mode that's called explore, where people would, I would say explore is more like a scenery route to content. Okay, like you explore about an actor's biography, about movie, what people say about the movie. And through this exploration, you get exposed to monetization opportunities, advertising opportunities. So this is, for us, it's a discovery mode per se. And this is what Deep try and address. Now, the second dimension is the temporal dimension. Okay? Most of this industry has focused on the middle one, the middle screen here, the during, okay? Trying to engage the user. Second screen is about engagement. So you try and engage the user while they are watching, while they're in front of the screen. Now, we believe that the two other moments, the before and the after, is at least as important. Okay? Because as a content service provider, you want to keep the engagement. You want to monetize this engagement while people are discovering the content. And you want to prolong this engagement even after. Okay? In terms of the pillar of the offering, I'll show you a little demo in a minute. I'd say that the first pillar is about amplification. So I prefer the word amplification to second screen because I think it covers more this idea of temporal coverage of this engagement. So we amplify. Okay? We have legally syndication sources, which we bring automatically and which will populate the magazine templates, which I'll show you in a minute. The second service we provide is automation, of course. We basically take as an input a long list of items. It can be an EPG. It can be a VOD catalog. It can be hundreds, thousands of items. And we just let our algorithm in the cloud do the job, and you get a second screen experience automatically generated. The third aspect, of course, is monetization. The format lends itself very, let's say, naturally to rich monetization formats like advertising, sponsorship. You can sponsor a magazine, and it's very natural when you flip the page of a magazine to see ads. Upselling, of course, merchandising, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the pillars of our offering. I think that's it for the theory. Let's move to the practice now. We've made, so Deep started as a nice R&D project, a nice idea we had about a year ago. And actually, we've announced our first commercial deployment this week. I think it was Monday, when Orange Cinema Series, the Orange channels, launched Game of Thrones Season 4 in France. Deep actually enabled the official second screen app. Yeah, so I guess if you are in France, not all of you are French, but I guess you can go to the French Apple marketplace and download the app and play with it. You'll see some of the feature that I'm going to talk about. I just want to switch to the tablet. That's OK. So I need to make sure that there is a connection. Take some time. Let me see. OK. Do we have a connection? Seems to be. I promise I tested it before. Here we are. OK. So what you see basically on the right-hand side would be the editorial app, the editorial official app. What you see on the left-hand side is the Deep amplification. We just amplify an existing app, and we provide more engagement and more content, again, based on the magazine format. I'm going to click on that. I get exposed to a lot of content, everything here being fetched automatically and generated automatically around the actors. So the choice of Orange was to start with actors. And I can just start and, I don't know, I can take one of them and start and navigate, and I get this magazine experience being built as we talk, OK? So it's always fresh because it's a magazine. So I'm not going to open the spoilers alert because I guess there are some Game of Thrones fans here. I don't want to spoil their pleasure of seeing the new episodes. But yes, so news, you can start from news. It's always fresh. Every time you pick the magazine, it's different. Little bio about the actors. All these photos and information we provide from various sources that we syndicate. It can be from premium sources. It can be from sources that we find on the web and that are legally as well provided here. You can navigate that. I just advise that you go and download this app. Filmography. Again, we can basically play with the depth of the magazine here. So we decided here not to go too deep into the filmography, but we could very easily link that back to the Orange VOD service as well. That's totally possible. You know, tapis rouge, red carpet, etc., etc. And at any time, any point in time, you can relate back to the content, relate back to other pages of the magazine. You are basically in an immersive experience that you can navigate either through page flips or through you know, tapping, clicking on links. Okay, so this is it for the demo. If you want to play with it, you can just feel free to go and download it. So now the lessons. Okay, I promised 8 lessons. Basically, the title was imposed on me, so I had to find 8 lessons. But I promised 8 lessons in the title of this conference, so I'm going to share with you some of the lessons we've learned. I just want to mention the fact that in the specific OCS Game of Thrones implementation, not all of what I'm going to talk about has been implemented. Okay, just sharing with you other directions we're currently deploying or exploring with some of the customers. Okay, so the first lesson is about analog. Okay, we believe analog has still many years ahead, and actually that's the most natural way to navigate in a tablet format. You can flip pages, you can click on links. That's, I would say, the combination of both navigation modes is what allows you to basically cater to all type of users, starting from my mother to my daughter. Okay, they understand both modes basically. The second lesson is about storytelling, of course. Magazine is about storytelling. You've, I guess, if you wandered along the old ways here, you've heard a little bit about storytelling this week. But that's exactly what we do. Okay, we provide visual arrangements. We provide them automatically. I would say that about about 80 to 85% of what you see we can automate. All those arrangements are aimed at one objective, which is storytelling, engaging your audience in a nice, interesting manner. The third lesson, of course, is automation. I mentioned this 80-85% estimate. We do that through templates. The templates are skinnable, customizable to the look and feel. We are totally B2B. We are an enabler. We're not a B2C. We're not yet another GetGlue or Viggle. We are just enable your apps. These templates are pretty complex in the sense that we call that degradable templates. So the thickness of the magazine can adapt to the depth of the content you have. You know, you have certain actors you may have more data, other you may have less. So the template can adapt itself to that. And of course, we can select business rules, okay, and decide what kind of information you want to bring forward, what kind of information you have less interest in bringing forward. All that is done through editorial tools. The fourth lesson is about news. I guess I'm not, you won't learn anything here. If you want people to not only go once in a month to your magazine, but repeatedly go to your magazine, you need to provide always fresh information, link to social networks, gossip, etc., etc. That's what will bring people back to the magazine and to your second string app. That's what, as well, Deep does, because each time you open the magazine, possibly, that's fresh, that's new. Lesson 5, linking to the TV content experience. So you won't see that on the OCS specific app I've shown, but very natively, I would say naturally, flinging the content to TV, syncing the magazine with the TV screen, integrating with an operator or a network TV delivery chain is something that can be done. And you can even imagine that we can play, you know, some of the content from the magazine, in which case the TV can become, which is an amplification of an existing TV Everywhere app, can be the very place where people will not only engage and enrich the experience, but play the content itself. That's another level that we can do. Lesson 6, engagement and serendipity. The nice thing about magazine format is serendipity. Each time you flip a page, and and I guess you know exactly what I'm talking about, you don't necessarily know what's next, okay? So we create this serendipity in the magazine format. And you know, everyone, it's your personal magazine. It's your personal exploration path. So you find your way to the content, to the ancillary content we provide. That allows you to learn, get educated about the content. That's the true amplification. Lesson 7, money, of course. We've talked a little bit previously to automation and possibly the cost reduction into managing, animating a second screen app. So now we're talking revenue generation, okay? So I'd say the economics of second screen are not that clear yet. It's a cost of doing business sometimes. It's a cost of engaging the customer. We believe that with such a format, such the rich advertising and sponsorship opportunity it provides, you can even see money out of that, specifically. Of course, we provide tools around these magazines, which allow you to, I mean, you can know real time, almost real time. Are people flipping? Are they typing? Which pages? What, blah, blah. And that you can, as well, this is a thing that your customers, your brands would love to see as well, okay? Imagine brand magazines. This is totally, it can find its place in this format, very rich format. Lesson 8, so that's the last lesson actually. Because I have a technical background, I need to put one slide about technical slide. So HTML5, everything we do usually is in HTML5, which basically allow to very easily adapt to various screens. Of course, depending on the deployment modes, if you have like some TV everywhere kind of integration, you might need to combine the native mode with an HTML5 mode. But yeah, it allows the flexibility and the transparency, basically. So that's it. That's the last lesson. This is what I wanted to share with you today. I see we still have about 10 minutes, so that's time for Q&A.
To amplify what I already have.
Yeah. So did everybody hear the question? So the question was, if you already have a second screen or let's say a companion app. Okay, I'm just generalizing. You have already a companion app. Can Deep be deployed as an amplification of that app? So the answer is yes. I mean, you see some of it in the orange app I just showed. Yeah, I mean, you can deploy Deep, and let's say there are two modes. There are either the standalone magazine, you know, it has its own logics and value, or the amplify mode, where you already have an app and you just, you know, like to provide some depth to the exploration on this app, and we can integrate within an existing app. Yeah, that's an integration issue. Yeah, welcome.
Understood well, Deep powers the app, the second screen app for Game of Thrones season 4 in France. So for me to understand, it's an app in the form of a magazine, and the magazine is refreshed. For example, if something new happens to an actor who's on Game of Thrones, it will show on the magazine.
That is correct.
How it works.
That is correct. It's correct. That's that's the beauty of it. Okay, we have various data sources, and all the build-up of the magazine is done automatically, and it's refreshed, I would say. Which, I mean, when there are news, we just show that on the magazine as well.
Because usually when we think of second screen, we think of it being simultaneous with you watching the show. But in this case, you want people after watching the show to go back to the magazine and see.
So that's why I try and explain when I looked at the temporal dimension. You're right. I mean, the second screen. When I say second screen, it's a buzzword. Okay. So, but what you think is the during. Okay. You are interacting. Okay. Now, you know, it's okay to interact. I mean, I guess lots of surveys show that it's okay to some extent. Split attention has pros and cons. But what we try and do is capture attention and engagement as well before and after. Okay, we try and make sure that you can prolong this engagement. Yeah, and deep provide by the news and all the content we do is yeah, sure we just add dimension, temporal dimensions to that.
Just about Game of Thrones too. What about the experience? What the users watching the magazine during the show or mostly after the show? And what about the social part? I didn't see anything about social feed and Twitter, etc.
Yeah. So, again, I think it relates to the gentleman question. So here, what again we provide templates, and those templates are customizable. We can add pages or remove pages, you know, and social might find its place in other parts of the app, not necessarily in the magazine I'm sure. But I guess what Orange wanted is really what we said, to keep engagement even before and after. Okay, there is an editorial part. Deep is not replacing editorial. Okay, you can still editorially construct this interaction while you are watching. Okay, we're not replacing that. We're just saying with the same money you invest on that, you know, you can just cover other dimensions here, the before and the after. And I think this is what our customers are looking at. Sorry? Do you have any visitor statistics? Specifically on that app, the app was launched like 2 days ago. I'm not sure if there are Orange people here, but I think they should be the one to communicate on that, not me.
Excuse me, I have a question. I like the format that you've got there. I like the magazine spread. It's a nice aesthetic. I guess I worry about that being a real distraction from the engagement of the program. So do you have any examples of something that's a lot more interactive with the show content itself?
So it depends from what angle you mentioned. So here again, if your objective is to capture attention before and after, I don't think it's a disruption. It's a disruption. I think it's the opposite. It just prolongs the experience. Now, some of our customers are somehow worried about totally uncontrolled experience. You know, we have customers that are, I don't know, VOD operators, etc. And then somehow want to somehow provide the content within their own realm, under their own brand, you know. So instead of having your customer go to Twitter, IMDb, or whatever, and lose the connection with those, you know, it's this engagement that exists. People do that. You know, we're not reinventing anything. People do go to IMDb. People do go to Twitter, okay, with deep or without deep. That exists. So, but the difference here is that you somehow provide this experience within your realm. Okay, the same, but you provide it within your realm.
Yeah, you have a nice interface, so it keeps the person engaged with the brand, and that's fine. I mean, but it's inherently it's a nice interface. I mean, I can find that information anywhere, presumably, right? I guess, but it is a real distraction if you got mounds of text. I'm not going to watch that while I'm watching the show. So I'm just wondering, do you have other examples of something that intimate engagement while I'm watching the show that doesn't distract but engages? Like you talk about immersive. I'm not talking about immersive in the brand. I'm talking about immersive in the show, in the show experience.
So again, I think I understand what you mean. I'm not sure what I've shown corresponds to what you say. I don't think it's too immersive as well. Look, as I said, your customer go to, I don't know if you are a content provider or an operator, but your customer are going anyway to do that. They're going to Twitter. They're going to IMDb. So what we just suggest is that you can just orient that. This is the point I made. You know, second screen interactivity while you're watching, that may be considered by some as a pollution, as a disruption. It may be considered by others as an enrichment. Okay, so we try and open the temporal spectrum and make sure that we capture at all the moments The guys that want to interact during, they can do it. They can as well close the app and go to Twitter or go to MDB. They can do that. And we and maintain this engagement throughout time. So I'm not sure I answer your question, but I think it's the idea is that you shouldn't focus only on one moment of this viewing life cycle, not one moment. Any other question? Thank you very much.